Hey guys, it's JQ Crafty. We are back with another Tuesdays in the Attic. Now, I was going to give you a tip before I start my process video for this sketch. This sketch has one of my favorite things to do. I don't do it often, but when I have a lot of photos and I don't quite feel like spreading it to 2-page, or there's a lot of repetitive photos, or a lot of photos with a lot of extra stuff in it, like these bowling ones, I like to do pages like this, where it's like a collage of photos. And my biggest tip for these is what you need to do is figure out how big you want your collage first. Then start trimming down your photos and just lay them out. And I like to put them, so I will trim down this piece of white paper. It's actually kind of just, it's that paper that comes in like in the sleeves of scrapbook layout pages. So it's kind of cheapy. It's not the greatest, but I will use that to just create the collage, because then you have a base and then you can move it around on your page as one giant photo, essentially. But that is what I do. And to me, it seems to work the best. Instead of, you don't necessarily have to follow the sketch verbatim on what size each photo should be, but sometimes depending on what photos you have, it gives you a good idea of what sizes you can create. So yeah, so that's what I do, is I will do this, and sometimes I like mine to touch and not have a gap, and sometimes I like them to have a gap. I cut it down so it's not going to have a gap right now, and then I will probably border it on something. Back it on something. But that's my little tip. So let's get started in we're gonna trim down the photos, and then I think I do have some goodies from Dusty Attic I might use on this one. But I think I might just be using scraps, because I have some, I kind of was going through my scrap bins, and I have some scraps that I probably can use. I just did a monochromatic layout for another sketch, and I might do another one because they're all wearing green, and so it might be good to get some of my green scraps used up. So let's get started. All right, so I actually ended up not doing any of the things I said. And I somehow, you guys, I am so sorry. I somehow missed recording me trimming down all my photos and putting them on the collage. Well, but there you have it. So that's what I do, is I figure out what size of a collage I want, and then I just start cutting down my photos and just kind of work them in. And so I don't necessarily follow the collage on a sketch. Sometimes that might be helpful, but I knew a lot of my photos I could trim down farther. So yeah, so I have gaps, but it doesn't bother me. But what I did is I went digging through my stash, and I had some scraps. So here's the problem, is I gave you what I wanted to do. And the problem is I'm in the midst of kind of like reorganizing my scrap space again, not like totally, but like I make a mess and I don't necessarily put everything away right away. And so I'm just reorganizing, cleaning up essentially, and going, okay, this doesn't work here. This doesn't work here. Move this, move this, move this. So I had some scraps like sitting on my desk, and I thought, oh, these are like the perfect size. And then I went digging through my stash, and I found this background paper. I showed you, I don't know if it was too fast. It might have been too fast. This is a Fancy Pants paper, and it's all these like passport type stamps, but to me that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with what's going on. And I was like, oh, this is perfect, because the same colors that are kind of in this background paper are the same colors of these random scraps that I have laying around. A red. The blue is more of a mint on the background paper, but I like the pop of bright blue that I get with this paper anyway. I don't remember what these are. I know the red one is like a Coordinations Essentials paper, and it's just red with like a honeycomb pattern on it. The blue one, I don't know. And then this weird green one is just a cardstock that I tucked over on the left side. Wow, I went really fast, and now I am already inking. So I'm so sorry. I started blabbing on. So I put the layers behind the way I wanted them to, and got that all situated. And then I tucked in the leftover bit of a cut file that I had, ironically also for a bowling page I did earlier this month, a couple Fridays ago actually, as like that cool like netting texture on the right hand side of the sketch. And then now I dug out, so I decided to use these awesome like alphabet tiles They look like Scrabble tiles from Dusty Attic. And I'm just inking them up to make them a little more colored to the way I want them. So I'm using Right Persimmon to make them orange. And I just took out a sanding brush to sand off the little like connector thingies because they're chipboard. So it's like essentially like a part of like broken down wood. So I sand that off and then I'm just inking them with the orange just to give them a little bit of color and then doing the outside with black. And I really like the way that's going to look. I did do that, right? Or am I like imagining things? No, I did. And my hands got like hella inky. Because I just kind of last minute decided to do it. So I did that. And then I decided like the insides, I wanted them to pop a little more. So I'm taking this oyster gray Nuvo drop and just filling them in. And I cut out all of me doing like most of it because it was very painfully slow. So I'm doing that just so they pop out a little bit. And I love, and when that dries, it actually ends up being like the exact same color of the base, like color of the background paper, like that khaki-ish, whitish gray, tan, or grayish, a good grayish. It ends up being the exact same color. So I was going to dig out through some other things, but then I decided, you know what? I haven't played with my Studio Calico stuff like at all. So I grab it out and first bag was like Christmas stuff. I'm like, don't need that. I probably maybe could have found something. I don't know. And then I grabbed through some embellishment stuff. Yeah, I haven't played with this stuff at all. I literally just need to get it out and use it and like be like, I'm going to make a layout with this. That's what I'm going to do. So I need to do that coming up. But I decided I had these fun puffy stickers. So I went ahead and they're like Go Team Go, but they're all bowling and they're all matching. So it was like they were on a team. So I picked out a bunch of like Yay and Go Team and one of the blue cameras and just kind of sprinkled them. And then Learning Curve, just because, I mean, they're little. These are all preschoolers learning to bowl in these pictures. So I put those around and then I'm going to dig in one of the other embellishment bags. I'm going to find these cool leather patches and then these fabric patches that all have self-adhesive on the back, which is awesome because I was like, how I'm going to stick these down, I have no idea. And so instead of a giant like floral cluster down on the left, and instead of tags on the upper right, I'm going to just place around some of these things. So I'm going to create like a circle cluster down the bottom left, and then I'm going to bring that up with some of the circles and some of the other like fabric patches. So I'm going to put a leather one down on the bottom and then one up on the top, and then a couple of the fabric patches up on the top and one down on the bottom. And then I'm going to use these vellum. There was like a pocket of like this gray vellum pieces. I'm going to tuck a circle and then I'm going to tuck one of the tabs up on the top and then a tab on the side. And I'm actually off camera going to stamp on the one that goes off the left-hand side, which you'll see me attach here in a second. But these are so fun. The one down the bottom is a little old school camera and it says, documenting this crazy life one moment at a time. So cute, right? And then the little fabric one says right here, right now, a couple times. And then the one up top says right now, and it says today was one for the books. And it was just fun. It was a fun day that I got to spend in the middle of the week, random day off. I got to go on their little field trip with them. And it turns out, long story, but thank goodness I was able to come because there was car seat problems. And then like a destination one just because we're not at the school and a heart little thing. So yeah, it was just fun to sprinkle a bunch of different little things throughout from my stash around. So I'm just going to finish up putting those little clusters on. And then I found some alphas that are gray that I'm going to stick fun. So then my alpha tiles say Wow Zone, which is the place we went bowling, and then fun. And I just, simple, that's basically what it was. I'll journal about it. And yeah, there you have it. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I really appreciate all of you. I really, 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 really do. And stay tuned for another one for next week. We'll see you then. Bye.